YouTube, morning. Right, I'm going to do a little vlog here on recognising behavioural patterns. The recognition of behavioural patterns, right. Everyone on earth can tell when they look at another person, whether they've eaten too much food, whether they smoke too much cannabis, whether they've taken their medication, whether or not they're a smoker of cigarettes, whether they've taken any kind of recreational drug across the board, whatever. Normally if a person's eaten too much confectionery, if a person's eaten too much meat, or if a person's not eaten enough food, period. Normally a human being can tell by looking at another human being. Straight away, almost like when the attraction light bulb goes off, within that you tend to recognise when you fancy someone within 3 seconds or something of instantly when you see them, of seeing them initially, within 3 seconds of seeing another person in the flash, you know that you fancy them or not, sexually. Well, the same applies. I'm not a teenager. I've been around the block a few times. I'm in my 40s, yeah. I've been around the block a few times, and I'm speaking from my experience, not from a textbook, or not from hearsay, from personal experience. So if you don't like what I'm saying, then the door's that way. A human being can tell instantly when they love another human being their behavioural patterns, their personal behaviour patterns, i.e. what they've been up to behind their own closed doors. Whether you like it, whether you agree with that point or not, it's fact. It's fact. You will know it yourself, and whether you're in denial of that fact or not is another monster, another video altogether. But you will know it yourself as a human being watching this video of a certain age. If you're in your 40s as well, especially if you're over 40 years old, you will know yourself that instantly, as I say, as soon as one can tell whether you fancy another person, you know that in that same quick period of time exactly what that person's behavioural patterns are. As I say, their diet, their drug use, whether they drank too much alcohol, whether they've taken too much heroin, whether they've not had heroin, whether they've not had alcohol, whether they're stoned, whether they're not stoned, etc., etc. Need I repeat? It's just fact. That is fact. Behavioural patterns amongst human beings are instantaneously guessed as quickly as the attraction light bulb is guessed, is surmised between two people, between two human beings, between one and another person. It's fact, and you would be blind to refuse such. It's up to you if you open your eyes to it. It's up to you whether you acknowledge it. But it is as fact. You will know it yourself. When you're in the street and you look at someone and their complexion's grey and muggy and they're saying that they're fine, you know they're not fine. You know instantly they may not have had a bath or a wash. They may not wash their hair. They may have had a sad phone call. They may have had some bad news. They may have just had a stressful situation in the street with another person, for example, blah blah blah. If someone's saying that they're well, you know, just even within the complexion of the skin, the whiteness of the eyes to look at. I'm just talking about appearances now. I'm not talking about body language, yeah? I'm talking about appearances, yes, in regards to behavioural patterns. You can tell by appearance, an appearance alone, another person's behavioural patterns. they are to another person. If they say that they can do something, like if you turn up an interview, the interviewer will know straight away whether the interviewee is lying when they say that they can work an office independently. They can put up a set of shelves independently. Regardless of CV or not, the interviewer will know my appearance. I'm not talking about body language, I'm simply talking about appearance. As minimal as in appearance as the complexion of the skin, the colour of the light in the eyes. I'm not talking about body language, I'm not talking about how a human being sits. I'm not talking about posture or the way a person brushes their hair or a person applies makeup. I'm not talking about that. I'm simply talking about striking appearance visually alone in regards to behavioural patterns. If you want to comment, if you'd like to debate this issue with me, then fine and dandy, go for it. I'd respect directness, please. Regardless of whether you agree with me or not, at the end of the day, just be direct. Right? No beating around the bush. I respect directness at the end of the day. Even if you feel you may be offending me, just be direct. Yeah. Right. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Again, all comments and all opinions welcome. Up for debate, I'm sure. Over and out.